So, Christian Parker is locked in as a defense coordinator for the Cowboys, and now it's time to focus on our draft strategy and free agency targets. We've got Parker from the Eagles, and honestly, there are some serious names being floated around that could completely change this defense. Plus, I'll show you the exact roadmap Parker's going to follow to fix what's been broken here. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the America's team. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the Christian Parker hire, you know what I mean? I thought it would either be Jim Lenhard or Christian Parker. Even Dante Jones sounded like a really good fit for the Cowboys. What I really like is that he's getting to bring in his team, his assistants. I didn't want this to be where we hired the top guy, the defensive coordinator, and we're keeping the remnants. I'm glad to see that we're looking at new D-line coaches and we're looking at linebacker coaches, and he's going to build his assistants the way he wants. No remnants, which is good. And honestly, I really hope we get rid of Aaron Whitecotton. Sounds like we are. He wasn't good at all. The Jets let him go, and the Jets were terrible too, man. Really, his claim to fame was that Quinnen Williams was an all-pro bowler, and he happened to be the defensive line coach. Quinnen Williams basically does this on his own, you know? I mean, they all need coaching, but Quinnen Williams is at another level of defensive tackle. So I didn't buy that, and we saw it with this D-line. Nobody stepped up. Nobody improved under Whitecotton. He's got to go, bro. Okay, now let me talk about the roadmap to retooling this Cowboys defense. Free agency's coming up here in March. We're pretty close to getting to that. But we do have Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl coming up. I'll talk about some of those guys that'll be fits for Coach Parker here. So let's talk about free agency targets first. Reed Blankenship, safety for the Eagles, he's going to be a free agent. Phenomenal player, man. He's been a pain in the Cowboys' backside for a while, and Parker's a secondary coach. That's his bread and butter. It's something the Cowboys really need to elevate as far as their play. The secondary was a disaster. The whole defense was, but particularly the secondary really fell off. So Reed Blankenship will be a target. Jaquan Brisker, he's going to be a target for the Cowboys possibly. What I like about him is he's a versatile press coverage guy. He's familiar with Parker's teaching style, and he's going to add competition to that secondary. So look for these types of players. PJ Locke is another name to keep an eye on. Physical safety under Parker's system as well, capable in run support and zone rotations. It's a heavy rotation defense. They like to keep it fresh, keep that pressure going non-stop. Then Nakobe Dean, a linebacker. He's a really good. He'll be an upgrade over what we have in the linebacker room right now. The only thing with him is his health, right? I feel like I like him, but he's probably going to miss some time, and that's just one thing that I hate. I hate when players miss time. Like DeMarvion Overshown has just missed a whole lot of time. He's not the same player. Then Trey Hendrickson. He's probably going to hit free agency. A little long in the tooth, though. He won't be cheap. Cowboys, I don't know if they would actually spend money on him just because of the money, right? But he would be good. He's a proven pass rusher. He can win without the heavy blitz. He can win on his one-on-ones. And he would be good in a four-man rotation for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Then Jalen Phillips, who the Eagles actually traded for this past season, he'll be in the mix, but he'll probably be out of the price range. Parker's scheme is really about playing in front, attacking, man coverage, and they just mix it up with zone coverage as well. He wants players who excel in zone coverage, press, communication, versatile guys who can play in different kinds of roles. Looking at the Senior Bowl, I've got a lot of notes on these guys. Davison Igbinosun, cornerback, he's a guy that fits this. Bud Clark, Scooby Williams, linebacker, and TJ Parker. Davison has length. They like that. The pattern matching, shadowing your receivers. You get a lot of that. Parker's secondary does a lot of matching what they do, like shadowing. He calls it pattern match zone concepts. That's kind of what they call it there under Vic Fangio. And Davison fits that. He's out of Ohio State, right? So keep an eye on him. Safeties are very important in this scheme. Keep an eye on Bud Clark. He's a safety out of TCU. Versatile, can play deep coverage and in the box. That's what you want in this system, and he would be a good fit. Kamari Ramsey is another guy out of USC. He has a good blend of coverage and run support as well. Good instincts. Scooby Williams, linebacker, like I said, you want a linebacker who will fit into this system. We're talking about versatility. The Cowboys have always been about versatility, but Parker and Vic Fangio, they like these plug-and-play guys who can just really mirror the other guy and just limit the big plays. That's what the Vic Fangio system is. Limit the big plays. Limit the big chunk yards. Keep everything in front of you. Scooby Williams, he's out of Texas A&M, very athletic. He can match your tight ends in coverage, and he can hang with them. You'll want some of that skill set in your linebackers. Linebackers that can cover as well as tackle. And those are kind of hard to find, but I like what Scooby Williams does. TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson, is another guy that you want to keep an eye on. He came into the season highly touted. I liked him in one of my very first mock drafts. I had TJ Parker there. But his 2025 season wasn't as good. Kind of the same deal with Peter Woods, you know what I mean? Those two guys didn't have the best of 2025 season, but the whole Clemson defense in general, the whole team kind of had a disappointing season. But he'll be there at the Senior Bowl. Powerful pass rusher, and he can be a good rotational player there for the Cowboys. TJ Parker probably has fallen to a late first rounder, probably more of a second round player at this point, depending on which film you're looking at. LSU has a good one too. Jack Pyburn gives you that interior presence. He can help free up your linebackers who can roam a little bit better, something that's also important in what Parker's going to want to do. I mean, you look at the behemoth defensive tackles that the Eagles have that they've really invested in, and that's why I think they're going to bring back Kenny Clark. You got Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. Those two are right there. I mean, if not even better than what the Eagles have right now at defensive tackle, right? You got to have some big dudes there, and those two guys fit the bill. So find a way to extend or rearrange Kenny Clark's contract, bring him back, extend Quinnen Williams, lower the cap number, and help out your defensive coordinator with some artillery, some weaponry, bro.
Hopefully they attack free agency differently than they have previous seasons and really get to work. I think if we're going to continue to see some change here philosophy-wise or, more Brian Schottenheimer influence, we need to see these guys be busy week 1, week 2 of free agency. Because if they're waiting for that last wave, the clearance bin, you just don't have enough draft picks to supplement a weak free agent class. That's the roadmap we have here for Christian Parker. Keep an eye on these types of names. There'll be many more, but these guys really stick out right now as we're looking at late January. Good to have Christian Parker in the house, man. This is pre-Senior Bowl, pre-free agency, but I like what we're building here. Cowboys need to attack that defense hard in this draft and free agency. Parker's got a system that works, he's got the pedigree from the Eagles and Vic Fangio's tree, and now we just need to get him the right players to make it work. That's the roadmap, that's the plan, and honestly, I'm excited to see what happens when we finally get a defensive coordinator who knows what he's doing and gets to build his own staff the way he wants it.